Alright folks, so last time we got that blue Yoshi that we just ditched, and we're gonna get to, I believe, Soda Lake. So that's kind of the concept here. So this is Astroots. Welcome to part 7 of Let's Play Super Mario World. Hopefully you've got some hot steaming pizza right by you, or some KFC, some Arby's, something like that, some Chinese food, some Thai food, something like that, some real good snacks to kind of munch on to crest you through this night. We're gonna have a good time. Really happens kind of be the thing, but so yeah, this is kind of a pain in the ass stage. I mean, this was a stage that pissed me off, and I'm starting to notice a lot more of these stages. For some reason, I don't have memories. Most of my memories of this game are fond, which is kind of baffling, just because some of these stages really do kind of tick me off in a lot of ways. I mean, they're not like teeth gnashingly break the controller kind of bad, but they are at least kind of like, hey, that kind of, you know, ticked me off, pissed me off a little bit, you know, that's kind of the thing. This stage especially kind of does that, and then there's another stage in, like, the bridge area that kind of does that. I mean, but the setting gets more jovial again in the Forest of Illusion stages, and then, like, I want to say that the Choco Land is okay. I mean, it's got some tough ones in there, but this game is kind of haphazard when it introduces, like, the difficult ones, because you just look at it here, like, these bullets keep coming. They don't have like any breaks. I mean, you really do have to have pinpointed timing, so leads to a lot of shenanigans. I could especially see if you had a friend with you, it'd probably piss both of y'all off, something like that, unless you're just like Capri Sun and Polo and float through these stages real easily, but it's just something like that, you know. Kind of the situation is yeah, it's kind of chilly out. This is another winter video. I almost thought about posting like a winter video from last year to kind of help court things, but I said, you know, I would have to plug in my phone and find it and that type of stuff. I do occasionally take pictures of like the winter surroundings for such occasions, but maybe I'll do it next time or something. I mean, it is supposed to snow soon, so I'm curious if I could do that and just kind of get like a nice gasp of what's going on here about that. You know. I mean, this is a necessary game in 2023. I would definitely kind of have to say it's just taking it back to this game. I definitely encourage folks. I mean, if you're following this playthrough the whole way through, or you watched this a few times, if it's years in the future, I just would have to say it's kind of the concept about it is just returning to like classic Let's Plays. Now, I'm all for Twitch streams. I do like those, and those are fun at times, but I don't want them to erase like the concept of like a classic Let's Play. I think that's important too. It definitely is. You know, because, I mean, if these went out of style, there'd be nothing left. I mean, we'd be stuck watching videos from 2008 and 2012 and all that, and it is, I do think, like, Let's Plays circa the COVID times are important and that sort of stuff, and, you know, some of these moments, as far as that kind of goes, other things that are kind of happening is to have, like, the occasional folk. But I don't know, it just seems like streams are just making Let's Plays obsolete. I don't know if I've said this before, but it's kind of the context there. But yeah, so basically I would say in part 8, more than likely, well, there is a little bit left to kind of cover, so but more than likely we'll probably get to at least Castle 4 and that type stuff, so it's kind of interesting to get that kind of squared away and stuff. But kicking it, you know. It's good to have Yoshi. I forget that his usefulness is very intact in this game. Especially considering that you're basically invincible as long as you get back on him after getting knocked off. It really happens to kind of be the thing, but I mean, he can succumb to lava, of course. If you fall in lava on Yoshi, you're still gonna die, and I mean, if you ditch Yoshi while in the lava and you don't make it to land, I mean, you know, obviously you get those context, but still, this is kind of just a last ditch. I mean, there's not many moments where ditching Yoshi in lava is necessary, but there's like a couple. Just kind of say this is like if you misplace a jump and you think that sort of thing is kind of the way it is. But it's interesting because Yoshi is supposed to be like a steed. You know, it's really kind of. I mean, he later became kind of like a character that was kind of like Mario and Luigi and stuff, but he really, in the beginning, was just kind of more horse-like, and I don't know, I kind of like the combination of both, but this feels like Mario doesn't really ride Yoshi that much. I wonder if he's going to be in that new kind of movie that's coming out for the spring. I'm probably... I mean, it's pretty kid-centric, you know, that's kind of the concept about it, that Super Mario movie is pretty kid-centric. I mean, the trailers do it justice. I definitely think it'll be a decent movie, kind of like the Sonic movies that came out, but it's just kind of, I mean, you have to understand that even 2- and 3-year-old kids are playing Mario at this stage. But it's kind of, so it has to be geared that way. But I think that's one area that I noticed they didn't really talk about with the movie trailers or something like that was Yoshi. So, but they might make a sequel or something, I don't know. Yeah, this is a fun stage. I do like stages like this. This is a nice little kind of jovial one. That I mean, they do have some clever instances in this. So it's just nice to kind of get this one. And I mean, really, I'm so not used to. The whole thing about it is I'm so not used to like Super Mario World's controls. Like I said, I totally play Super Mario Bros. 1 more than this, and that game's controls are just tight. This game, the jumps are really slippy, and it causes a lot of deaths. I think I probably die at least 15-20% because of that, just because I'm not used to the jumping controls because I play the older games. Even Super Mario Bros. 3 is tighter than this. That's really the concept there, is just me trying to say that I mean, you may not notice if you play Super Mario All-Stars or something, where Super Mario Bros. In that game is kind of slippier, but the NES versions, that's definitely a different kind of context. It's just that particular game had airtight controls, and I'm used to it, you know, because I play Super Mario Bros. Often, probably at least 5 or 6 times a month, something like that, you know, but 3 or 4 or 5 times a month, something like that, often enough, but this kind of the thing. I mean, those, you know, when I do play Super Mario Bros., it makes appearances on Acidic Roots, my vlog channel. It's kind of the concept there, but so yeah, so we're gonna save and then continue with the secondary function, or a secondary thing of the recording. This is just the end of the previous segment from the last episode. So I'm in a good mood because I have donuts out in the kitchen. I'm going to have a few later today. Those are like some nice snacks. And with inflation going up, it's really a pain in the ass buying food, because you know, spending $140, $150 on food only gets you through about 7 or 8 days, or 6 or 7 days, barely a week. That's kind of the concept, is just like hell, you know. I mean, inflation's really doing it because the price of food's going up. So it's like, you know, I literally spent $140, and it's like I mean, I eat donuts pretty quickly, and then for the most part, I have to have a select diet anyway. So it's just kind of, it seems like I'm always having to go to the grocery store, whether it's for the cats like Reggie and those type folks, or just, you know, other purposes. I don't know. I really feel like inflation is going to be kind of like the new normal. I hate the concept when folks try to... I don't hate it, but, you know, when folks say, oh, this is the new normal, it seems like there's a lot of new normals, you know. It seems like inflation is not just temporary. Like 20 years ago, if there was inflation, it'd go away, you know, 8 months, 13 months, something like that. But now it's just like we're on like the 18th month, and it's like it's just going to get worse. I don't know, these things just become like new normals and stuff, but yeah, I'm at least happy that I have donuts. I'm gonna munch on those. That's some nice goodies. I'm like Homer Simpson, you know, I appreciate my donuts. Can't have beer, but I can have donuts, so I'm at least gonna enjoy that. Let's say, hell, if you're watching this drunk, I definitely shout out to those folks who just came home with like a 30-pack or something. I see ya. kind of the thing. It's a fun thing watching this game. All the shenanigans, the stupid crap that happens here. I'm just kind of, you know, like this fish right here. It's pissing me off. It kind of ticked me off when I was playing it. I almost wondered if the fire flower would kill it, but I was just kind of, he said whatever. You know, I beat this with Small Mario or with Super Mario, so it's just kind of, this took a little bit. It's really tricky. It's not quite as bad as Super Mario 3. The fat fish in that one, and World 3 is not. I mean, that one will kill you most of the time. I mean, you really have to have the fire flower to consistently avoid that thing. But this one's not as bad. He's an ass, but he's not like a super ass. It really happens to kind of be a thing. So yeah, I think I want to say that fish is only in one stage. I think that's the only time you really ever see him. So he doesn't continue to be like a bitch the whole way through. It's just a one recurring time. But now we have the fortress, which is another theme. This is another area that you can save after, apart from the ghost houses and the castles. So it's interesting to kind of get that. Mario has like these stages. It's a new introduction. Just interesting to kind of get that because these enemies were not seen before, these Reznor dudes. So this kind of happens to be the concept behind it. You know, and I think of Reznor, I think of Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. He's pretty fly. You know, that's definitely a good band. They're kind of quiet. They only drop like once every 6, 7, 8 years now, but I still kind of feel like, I mean, that stuff was popular back in this time 30 years ago. He's who spawned Marilyn Manson, so that's another good thing. But this is kind of a pain in the ass stage too. I mean, the boss can be pissy. I mean, I definitely would say I wouldn't recommend fighting this boss drunk, but maybe it would be a fun thing. But this is kind of a pain in the ass. I literally had 3 hits here, and still I somehow managed to die. Plus a power up at the end, yeah. I didn't realize you could jump on those guys when their spikes aren't pointing out. This happens to kind of be the thing. But yeah, so it's actually kind of funny that this world is this stage is a little bit easier as Small Mario, just because you look after it and it's kind of, I mean, you can just go through here and skip a decent portion of the stage. I mean, if you want a challenge, you can have Small Mario go the top way, but it probably would get you killed. But it is kind of, they do let you do it if you want to. Yeah, this is basically basic simple stuff here. Easy enemies that give you a power up to help out, so. But those assholes throw bones at you. That was what I was dodging in the previous attempt I did with this stage. It's kind of pissing me off. I was just kind of, because you can't jump because there's spikes up there, so it's like, it's kind of tricky, but you can duck underneath the bones, so if you duck, they won't hit you. So some of that stuff is really kind of tricky. I'm definitely going to want the power up here. How to get that. The last one is always like the trickiest one because the way that the wheel kind of rotates, you have to know physics a little bit to figure out how to do it, because there can be some awkward deaths if you're not careful. But alright, so that virtually takes care of it. So we'll save, and then that should conclude the episode, and we'll get to part 8 soon enough. So yeah, we've almost got 10 of these, so there's good. Probably an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours of content to watch now. It's a pretty decent playthrough. I would say this will probably wind up being like a 4 or 5 hour, something like that. Alright, subscribe for more fun.